Fuckers, 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 fuckers. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on. Let me correct that. Or is my camera just completely broken? While I work on that, how is everybody doing? Now, do you know there's a very, very funny thing about building, a mystique. A thing where, everything's shit and everything GW does is just the worst and everybody hates everything. And I get it. I get it. I get it. But then GW goes and does something where it's actually kind of fucking great. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about Grotmas. I'm talking about the fact that we have a detachment. It looks like my camera's a little bit broke, so I'll work on that in a second once I get through my tongue-in-cheek, shit-eating intro. Now, why do I know that it's actually kind of good? Well, that's because apparently some of the people in my Discord don't understand the spoiler rules. Guys, now have a look at this. Have a look at this. I am going to bring up my thang. And have a look at my thang. Grotmas gets posted here. Absolutely fine. Mike understands his shit. No spoilers. And then Spooner, who should know better, talks about Ogrins and orders. Sarah leaks that they're doing detachments. And then they start talking to one of the new, coaching people. Telling me that it's about Ogrins and orders and there's going to be detachments, I may as well not even review this. I have learned everything that there is to learn about everything because they told me spoilers. Now, obviously, there shouldn't be anybody who doesn't know about the ridiculous nature of the spoiler rules and whatever else. And obviously, this is all tongue-in-cheek, but I have actually heard some good things about this detachment that's come out. Now, one thing I do want to touch on, Tau fans. Unfortunately, I get the inkling that we will not be getting a detachment. Now, spoiler, warning, for anybody who does not want one, you have 5 seconds to mute me or get out of my chat. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, if you're still here, you have consented to spoilers. There was a leak that came out, posted in a Discord, which then made its way around Reddit, where apparently the detachments that are being released were leaked. Now, I don't know how credible this is, but it actually does kind of make a lot of sense. We got Experimental Prototype Carter. Custodes got the Lions detachment. I assume somebody else got something, but, they're not Tau, so fuck them. It looks like they're not doing a similar Grotmas to last year where they released a detachment for every single army. And to be honest, I kind of get it. They kind of over-delivered in the last Grotmas. It's really unrealistic for us to expect the rules team to do that. They're out here just completely bricking stealth suits and finding another way to take a good unit, make it bad, take a bad unit and make it broken. They're just out here just doing Caval's work. And I, for one, welcome our Necron overlords that are likely gonna, just be busted. Now, the Grotmas calendars, I'm not going to go through and look at the previous stuff. It's painting tips, it's lore, it's whatever. We are not here about that. On this channel, we care about how do I make other people's models get unalived as quickly as possible. That's what we're here for. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if any of you are going to be able to see my beautiful face because it does not want to play fucking ball. It absolutely does not want to play ball. So what I'm actually just a real quick fix. I'm just going to open up the camera thing. You might get the unadulterated view. Nope, it's opening in a separate window. Never mind. You guys don't get to see me. Haha, suck it. So we're going to go straight into the Astra Militarum. Now, why are we going straight into the Astra Militarum? Because they are the first detachment that we have got. And honestly, I'm hoping that what I've heard, spoiled, in fact, is actually true. Hailing from fortress worlds or planets ravaged by incessant war, the soldiers of this company have fought on the front lines for long and bloody months. Where other formations have collapsed under the strain of constant warfare, these Iron Will combat veterans retain their ferocious discipline. They carry out the decisive orders of their ruthless and exacting officers with a determination born of pride and zeal. Now, I have not looked at this, so everything you're going to be hearing from me is a first impression, me just wrapping my head around it, blah, blah, blah. I missed it. Risu, thank you so much for the resub. If you guys would like to get access to the emotes that we have on the Twitch channel, make sure that you drop your Prime or pick up one of the tier through 3 subs if some of the emotes in the higher tiers look good to you. Always appreciate people helping the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. So, Astra Militarum, Grizzled Company. Let's have a look at this. Ruthless Discipline. Add 1 to the number of orders each Astra Militarum officer model from your army can issue as stated on their datasheet. Damn. Immediately, that is already good. While an Astra Militarum unit from your army is affected by an order, each time a model makes a model in that unit makes an attack, re-roll a hit roll of 1. If the target of that attack is within range of an objective marker, re-roll a wound roll of 1 as well. This is a ridiculous detachment rule. So being able to issue multiple orders is powerful for a number of reasons. You don't have to choose between move, and, you know, some of your like hit buffs or whatever else. Your officers are going to be able to do both, and gives you a lot of flexibility on the battlefield. The big thing here is Astra Militarum do not get access to a lot of rerolls. They really don't. Getting reroll hit rolls of 1 and reroll wound rolls of 1 is kind of fucking nuts. Really, really like this for the Astra Militarum fans. All right, let's have a look at the enhancements. Abhuman Detail. Commissar model only. Add the Ogren keyword to the list of units this model can issue orders to. In the declare battle formation step, the bearer can be attached to an Ogren or Bulgren squad. Okay, so we'll have to look up on Wahapedia what Commissar models actually give, but that is really, really cool. Quill and I, Astra Militarum officer model only. Each time you select an order for the bearer to issue, you can select the order below. Target weak spot order. Each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, targets an enemy unit within 12. Improve the AP of that attack by 1. That is also incredibly good. Astra Militarum do not tend to have high AP weapons. And even, you know, a lot of their like high volume of fire is very low AP. Getting additional AP on that opens up a lot of chances for them to take out things that otherwise wouldn't be able to. But also, it just says Astra Militarum officer. And if memory serves, that is also like your tank commanders have the officer keyword. I will double check that before doubling down on it too much. And giving some of your Lehman Russ guns an extra AP, there's a fair few of the guns that they have that only sit at like AP1 or AP2. That is a very, very big deal. Spec Ops Veteran, Astra Militarum Infantry Officer only. Each time you select an order for the bearer to issue, you can select the one below. Move to the shadows. Each time a range attack targets this unit, if those attacks, until those attacks are resolved, models in this unit have stealth ability, so just a free order for -1 to hit, really nice. And then Lord Hailer. Each time you select a unit for this officer model to issue an order to, that unit can be within 12 instead of within 6. Depending on the price, that will be really, really big. Again, flexibility is just absolutely incredible. All right, let's have a look at the stratagems. I don't know why my brain just shut down then. Obviously, because we do this in the most efficient way possible, we're going to read them at fucking random. Shout out to the guy last, Grotmas, that got really upset that I didn't read them in the order that he thought was correct. So, Mordian Minute. Now, this is going to be that a unit crashes out, right? Your shooting phase, 1 Astra Militarum infantry unit from your army affected by the first rank fire, second rank fire order. Until the end of the phase, each time model in your unit makes an attack, improve the strength of that attack by 1. Okay, very nice. Snap to it. Start of any phase, Astra Militarum officer from your army. Your unit's officer can issue 1 order as if it were your command phase. Now, this is really, really interesting because it means you can, have an officer bark out a bunch of stuff to units that he's in range of, move him in range of another unit, and then go, cool, start of the shooting phase, I'm going to give first rank fire, second rank fire to this unit that I wasn't in range of in command phase, but I am now. That is really, really cool. No retreat. Your command phase, Astra Militarum unit from your army affected by the Duty and Honor order. If your unit is within range of an objective marker, that objective marker remains under your control. Sticky objectives is fantastic, especially if you're not playing against a real tricksy army that you have to, screen ridiculously, but Astra Militarum tend to have a lot of very cheap units. So if you're able to surge towards your opponent, play a bit of a jailing style, and you're not worried about your home field being taken by somebody, or you've got a very efficient unit that can screen standing behind the objective when they're not burdened with having a model in range of that home objective, you can really screen out your backfield a lot more efficiently. So that is really, really good to see that they got that. Additional armor. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Astra Militarum unit from your army that was selected as target of one or more of those units' attacks until the end of the phase each time it attack targets your unit. Worsen AP by 1. This is Armor of Contempt on just Astra Militarum. This is like Catachan can get additional armor. And minus that AP. That is kind of fucking nuts. Now, obviously, the best use case here is that you put it on something like Bulgrin. When you've already got, and I've said this in a few different streams that I've had, when you have layering things of the same nature, be they offensive, be they defensive, there is a curve of exponential gain that you have when you keep stacking things in the same sort of area. And so minus AP on top of the other stuff that Bulgrin have. I think they've got -1 to wound. Actually, let me just bring up Wikipedia and we can have a little bit of a look at this while we continue with the other stratagems. But it just has a really, really good effect. But then, if you've also got stuff like, just negating the AP for a unit that has to move out onto an objective and there's flamers looking at them and they're -1 AP, then you go, okay, cool, I won't be on 5s, I'll be on 4s, which makes it more likely that my unit actually has even just one guy live, does the action, boom, I get my points. That can be very relevant across the course of a very competitive game. Veteran Sharpshooters. Your shooting phase, Astra Militarum unit that has not been selected to shoot this phase, you get Ignore Cover. Notice it's just Astra Militarum. That's tanks, that's infantry, that's planes, that's everything. That is really, really cool. And then last but not least, Purging Fire. Shooting phase, Astra Militarum, affected by an order that has not been selected to shoot this phase. If your unit is within range of an objective marker until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models have lethal hits. Okay. So I will leave it to, you mean Imperial Guard, right? Absolutely. I apologize. The Imperial Guard. Here's hoping we get a good Custodies detachment on par with this because this is nuts. Grim, I actually don't think Custodies like Tau are going to get one because we got a detachment previously outside of the normal cadence. We got a Grotmas one, then we got another one. I think this is going to be for a set number of factions. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that, we get a whole bunch of shit. And it's possible because Grotmas will be going until Christmas Day, which means that we have 19 days left, which is enough for all of the factions in the game, especially if they combine Chaos together and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think that they are. There was a leak that came out, and I already spoiler warned, so, everybody, if you're in here, you're consenting to being spoiled, that came out and actually sort of showed that it wasn't going to be the case that we got every single faction getting one, but I kind of get that they're not doing that because, again, Grotmas was something that we weren't promised last year. They over-delivered like a motherfucker. It was a really great event, and I think that would be too much for the rules team to commit to every single year, especially because we're kind of on track for 11th right now. So, yeah. So this gets lethal hits, ignore cover, gets additional AP to its infantry with first rank fire, second rank fire. It can issue orders out of phase. It can sticky objectives, and it's got Armor of Contempt. It's also got within its enhancements, buff up Ogren or Bulgrin. I think that this will probably run great with a big Bulgrin squad. I don't know if you go 2 of them. because they also copped a nerf previously that made them more expensive because they were being spammed by basically every Astra Militarum list. But I do think that they will do well, at least with one big death ball. Then you've got additional orders, brand new stuff, improve AP when you're within 12 inches, really good. And you can stack that with the with the stratagem. So you can get AP2 on las guns, which is like, yeah. And then you can get stealth, which I don't think a lot of Astra Militarum units get. And you can also have an officer being able to give out orders within 12. And if you decide to go the route of like tank heavy with this, that like it just says officer. Now that's what I want to check that Astra Militarum, Imperial Guard, that they actually do have the officer keyword on things like tank commanders. I'm fairly certain that they do, but I'm just going to double check because I don't like talking out my ass. I can, and it's a very, very impressive ability, but I don't think that, let's bring up Lehman Russ commanders, Rogal Dawn commanders. It's good for like, it's a good party trick, but it's not something that I want to do on stream. I'd like get reported to Twitch and then I get shut down, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so keywords, yep. Officer keyword there, and I would be amazed if the Rogal Dawn commander doesn't have it. Yep. So officer is on the Castellan, Kading Command Squad, Catachan Command Squad, Commissar, Gaunt's Ghost, Creed Command Squad, Lehman Ross Commander, Lord Marshal Dreyer, Lord Solar Leontis, Militarum Tempestus Command Squad, Rogal Dawn Commander, and Ursula Creed. Isn't it really cool that Australians get their own command squad, as well as like having models that represent them in the game? I'm actually really happy with the representation that GW's been giving us. Yeah. So, overall, I would give this a Henry Cavill out of 10. It has a lot of options. It has an insane detachment rule. I mean, convince me I'm wrong, but, like, this looks really good. This detachment is so fucking good, it's painful. Explain that, Noogie. Why is this painful? Is it because you're on a different faction and this looks really good? And like the one you got, like for example, the one that we got outside of the Grotmas cycle on Tau was Experimental Prototype Carter. And compared to EPC, I would agree this one seems really well written. EPC had all of its power in its stratagems. So it's, this one seems to be very good across the board, though I will have room for me to be proven wrong on that because I'm not an Astra Militarum player currently. But or is the painful, are you one of a particular YouTuber's crowd that love to shit on everything? EC tonight, let's go. I really wish they weren't releasing them at like 1 in the fucking morning because I loved doing the streams that were like 10 o'clock. That was really, really cool. But what do we get for Adeptus Mechanicus, which I heard there's a particular Dan which is selling an Adeptus Mechanicus army because he buys up a lot of stuff and then becomes a reseller. He's basically becoming the Facebook Marketplace reseller to go to. So just a lot of artwork, it looks like, I guess. Oh, a little bit of Tau representation. Look at that shit. Yeah, going into a Castellan robot with burst cannons and flamers? Dude, what the fuck are you thinking? What the shit are you supposed to do to him? So SEC is a face page. Let us know what your favorites are. Next time we're turning our attention to the Necrons, whose esoteric technology is probably quite high on their procurement list. Yeah, okay, so it's just like bits of art shit and whatever. Actually, they released a bunch of artwork. A bunch of art. Let's have a look at the Tau Empire shit. I can sell my AdMech if somebody wants it. Didn't I see you posting to like sell your AdMech, or am I just like completely making that the fuck up? When does the nightly drop happen? It's been happening at like 1 a.m. It's been not great, honestly. This new guard detachment is great. Guard now actually have some melee threats. I mean, the Bulgren were kind of always good. They got really on the expensive side. But actually, that's what I wanted to look up. What do the commissars actually offer them? Before I say whether, that brick is going to be good or not, I want to speak with first-hand information rather than just, making stuff the fuck up. So, summary execution: once per battle round at the start of any phase, select one friendly Astra Militarum infantry units battle shocked within 12, remove it. Okay, cool. While another officer model is in the same unit as this model, you can reroll battle shock tests. That doesn't do anything. I guess it gives them self-ordering is the power of it, but the Commissar doesn't give them anything. Am I ridiculous? So in that detachment, he's going to be able to issue 2 orders because he gets +1. Can issue duty, so it's leadership and OC, duty and honor and fixed bayonets, improve weapon skill by 1. So that is a big deal for the Bullgren. +1 weapon skill is good for basically anybody who wants to be doing melee. And then you've so yeah, putting them to hitting on 2, strength 7, AP 1, damage 2. Now, what of the new stuff can be used in the fight phase? So any phase for command, lethal hits in shooting phase only, shooting phase for the strength characteristic, shooting phase for lethals, and shooting phase for the additional armor. So we're not using CP to buff them up. Slab shields, so they've all got wounds of 4. They're -1 damage with the 6-up feel no pain, so that is quite nice for them as well. So you either go brute shield or slab shield. Do you want to give up the Grenadier Gauntlet? Likely. D6 shots, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. To take a Bullgren Maul. The Bullgren Maul is quite good. You can have your slab shield replaced with a brute shield. So I think 4-up invuln, correct me if I'm wrong, is better than 4 wounds. I would almost bet my left nut that is better. They do have the grenades keyword, so you can walk up and just fucking mortal wound bomb somebody. But yeah, making that up. Oh, okay, yeah. No, I was meaning selling to make room for other stuff as someone was wanting to buy AdMech. Yeah. I have been, Alex has been wanting me to get into AdMech for a while, and it was really fun to play it, but I look at how much it actually costs to get into AdMech, and oh my god, it makes my fucking eyes water. Just to have, a broad mix of shit that you can use. It's, what time is detachment release? It's been coming out at 1 a.m. Australian time, which is why I haven't, while it's been lore and artwork and shit, I haven't been jumping on for stream because, I don't want these streams to be oh, cool, lore drop, whatever. I want, if I'm going live, for people to be oh, yeah, there's actually something for me here. And then it's also at 1 a.m. I can't do that with a kid now. Before the kid, it'd be absolutely fucking fine because my sleep is absolutely fucked. But there are some nights where I actually have to be an adult without PTSD, go to fucking bed on time. But yeah, so let's have a look at, 200 points. Commissar is 30, so it's 230 for this brick, plus whatever the stratagems cost. So it'll be something. So I would ballpark that you're probably looking in the vicinity of 240, 250 points, which, an eighth of your list. Not bad for a little death ball. Not bad. Not fucking bad. And honestly, I do have a really soft spot for the Bullgren squad. Now the question becomes: do we put them with Ogren? Because Ogren, I believe, take a little bit better shooting. They're okay in melee. They don't have the invuln save, but if they're coming out of a transport, you're fine. So you've got the Ripper guns, which are rapid fire 3. You can give them lethal hits, additional AP, ignore cover, depending on your CP economy, and your strength 5, AP 1, damage 2 at base. You've still got the 6-up feel no pain. When you target the closest eligible, armor penetration by 1. And you can go in with the Ripper guns, which are still 4 attacks, hitting on 2s with the Commissar's order, strength 6, AP 1, damage 1. That's also not a bad unit. And it's 130 points. With the Commissar, that becomes 160 plus the cost of the enhancement. So, a 6-man Ogren squad actually fucks kind of hard in this detachment, right? Right? Just play 40k on stream with no sleep. I'm sure it'll go fine. Yeah, definitely. Fuck that, good night. Thanks for stopping in, Dad. Yeah, that actually sounds kind of cool. But I mean, obviously, the Bulgrin is one thing to talk about because you've got this enhancement here. But it might even be that, I don't think Astra Militarum are not going to use this. But you look at Saga of the Beast Slayer for Space Wolves, which, by the way, Space Wolves are one of the rumored armies that are getting a detachment, and I am really hoping that they give us a Codex detachment that is somehow better than Stormlance. Like, it's actually fucking crazy that Stormlance and Gladius just shit on the Codex. But, yeah. So, looking at this, yes, you've got the Ogryn. Yes, you've got the Bulgrin. However, this is there's a lot to like in here. There is a lot to like in here. It's officer models getting an extra order, and any Astra Militarum reroll hit rolls of 1. That on lemons and your fucking even just your transports, your Rogal Dawns, your whatever. Reroll 1s to hit and wound, because there's a lot of times you are going to be trading with people on objectives. You're not going to have it all the time, but it's a lot more than you've got in other ones. And if we look at, because I guess this is the other thing I wanted to look at. What is the opportunity cost? Because if you're taking this detachment, you're not taking another. So what are we giving up? Most people that I've seen, let's look at Hammer is something that I actually have seen running a little bit. Let's have a look at what they actually get. So detachment roll each time a squadron unit, which is all of your armored stuff, advances, do not make an advance roll, go 6. When making that advance roll, move within engagement, but cannot end within engagement. So that is incredibly strong. That is really good for a vehicle-heavy thing. Vehicle officer issues order, squadron issued to another squadron. Okay, cool. Vehicle officer, bearer has 6 up, feel no pain. Okay. Add 3 to objective. Vehicle officer model, each time model in the bearer's unit makes a ranged attack, reroll hit roll of 1. Okay, so that's for one of them. Final hour, command phase, squadron, ignore mods. Range weapons equipped by models in your unit, excluding one-shot weapons, have the hazardous ability. Each time a model makes a ranged attack, ignore ballistic skill and hit roll. Yeah, okay. Astra Militarum, vehicle in movement or charge phase, move through terrain features as if they're not there. This is incredibly powerful. It's kind of the main reason why you take this detachment, aside from the speed of Iron Tread. Furious Cannonade, squadron unit from your army. Each till the end of the phase, each time model in the unit makes an attack, targets a unit within 12, improve AP by 1. Blazing Advance movement, just after a squadron unit advances, you basically gain assault, but better because it's just flat eligibility to shoot in turn in which it advanced. Movement phase, squadron unit that fall back and shoot. Ablative plating, -1 damage for 2 CP in your opponent's shooting phase. So, okay, if I look at this side by side, it feels just as good as Grizzled Company. Or should I say Grizzled Company feels just as good as this. Extra order, reroll 1s to hit and wound. It's broader. It applies to everything in the army, not just a specific unit type, which pushes it up in terms of its viability. Drop detachment got nuked though, but is that still viable? I don't know about Bridgehead. I know that it hasn't been especially popular after the Codex came out and the nerfs went through and whatever. But there are some times that, it's really hard to say, because if you talk to somebody on the fringes of Tau, they tell you, X detachment, nobody's running it, so it's shit. But really, at the moment, I could run any Tau detachment and do well with it. So that person would invariably be wrong because they don't know what they're talking about. It may be a similar thing where, Chief Wanna Hacker, thank you so much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Enjoy the new emotes. Twitch subs, get some fucking rails in the chat. So it might be that, even though I'm not seeing it, if I were deeply plugged into Astra Militarum as I am with, Tau and to a lesser extent Space Wolves, Eldari, Sisters, that sort of stuff, I might be able to say, no, Bridgehead is still fine. People are just playing something else because it's 5% better, or it offers them something very specific that they want. So that's where I'm a little bit hesitant to talk about whether something is viable from an army that I am familiar with but not an expert in, because people very often do this and I fucking hate it, where it's like, oh, no, X Pro doesn't use it, or the data shows that everybody went on to X detachment, so that's the only viable one, which we know is kind of bullshit. Like, most people fail because of their own fucking choices and what they do on the table, and not actually to do with their detachment on their list. So I really don't know. But yeah. What's good about this new detachment is it's another combined arms style of list. It can buff all styles of guard nicely, but has a leg up slightly as it works in combat. Abso-fucking-lutely. I would put that is probably about as succinct as I think anybody could put it, that this detachment, GW, like, you fucking cooked. Rules team, fucking great job. Great job. We'll see what Astra Militarum players do it if it ends up being like the most competitive thing in the world. But I can honestly say, from a design direction, going broadly to benefit the entire codex for every unit, to give something special to your Ogryn and Bulgrin, to give something special to like your infantry for -1 to hit, improving the range of your orders, and then still staying to what Guard does well. Like, you're not buffing up melee to the fucking nines because that wouldn't make sense for Astra Militarum. You're still giving them things that are very relevant to a lot of things in their army list. Like the number of guns that a Leman Russ has, getting lethal hits on all of those, fucking excellent. Getting ignore cover, which is not something they've had broad access to, fucking excellent. Armor of Contempt on them. Just imagining fucking Cadian dudes or Catachan guys just carrying fucking plates of metal or the fallen bodies of their enemies or something to get -1, worse than AP against them. Fucking excellent. Like, it's great. From YouTube in the US, got to show love. Thank you so much, dude. I really appreciate it. And good to have you here for your first time chat on Twitch. That is fucking excellent, dude. Imagine Ghosts infiltrating, ordering themselves and sticking any objective you wanted. Fucking oath. That I think is something that the best Astra Militarum players, and honestly, I want to see what my fucking brain is forgetting his name, and I sincerely apologize to him. He's one of the hosts of the Fireside Chat. The runs Astra Militarum, British player, really, really good. I'm keen to see like what he cooks with it, what some of the other best Astra Militarum players in the world do with this, because I think that like with an in-depth understanding of their codex and all of the abilities they've got and whatever else, somebody could cook outside of their fucking mind with this. David Gaylard, is it David Gaylard? I'll have to look it up. And like, I don't imagine he's going to watch this, but if he does, I sincerely apologize. I have watched a lot of the Fireside Chat stuff. I think they're both really fantastic. A lot of my early Eldari learning was from that channel, and I found it very, very helpful. So, but really keen to see what they do with it. In terms of, and do you know what? This is even more fucking potent, because you'll all notice the title. That Morty Glory is likely having a fucking crash out. And the reason for that is that I watched a little bit of his reaction video to my video on stealth suits. And one of the opening things that is said in that reaction is when I said in my video, you know, like I've had a lot of faith in GW recently, like they've been making a lot of good moves, blah, 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 like pauses. And there were people that did this in my video in the comment section where they're like, oh, sweet summer child. Oh. And I found it really odd. And I'm going to bring this up when I make my reply to Mordian Glory. And for everybody watching, like Mordian made very, very clear in his video that it was all banter and whatever else. I am coming from the same lens. That, like, having that reaction to me saying I've had faith in GW when they have made good decisions over the last, like even just look at last Grotmas and then bringing Grotmas back. That is a very customer forward thing. They give us free stuff, get us excited, and we in turn buy their shit. It's a very healthy part of a consumer relationship. Then somebody being like, I had faith in them, but this is a misstep. And being like, oh, that's your mistake right there, having faith in GW. Ha ha ha. The natural response is, well, why the fuck do you still play this game then? If you don't believe anything is going to get better and then continue to engage at a deep level with GW, isn't that just like being a part of a really abusive relationship and being like, They're a fucking prick and they treat me so badly. And then your friends go, well, why don't you just fucking leave? Go and be with someone else. Go and do something that makes you happy. Oh, nah, well, like, nah, I'm here. And that makes me a grizzled veteran of GW because I'm better than everyone because I know they can never be trusted. I don't leave, but I know, and other people don't. That makes them the dum-dums. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, you're not smarter for staying in a relationship where you, like, if I ever stop trusting GW entirely where I do not think anything is ever going to get better, I will leave. I will stop engaging with their product. I will stop giving them money because why the fuck would I stay if it's wrong and weird to have faith in the people that make the game that I've made a YouTube channel around and that I play more than almost anything else aside from, like, you know, specific video games. It's like, it's such an odd thing. It's not Mordian specifically. Like, this is so many people take this as like their worldview of like their place in the 40k architecture or AOS or old world or whatever it is. Like, I even remember this shit when I was a kid playing, like, because I originally got into, not like, there was a little bit of 40k, but it was after the old world setting, the original. And there were people that were like, I'd go into a Games Workshop store just in Lismore, for anybody who knows where the fuck that is. There was a little, like, Games Workshop thing attached to a post office, and that's where we got any of our, like, actual browsing. And it just, like, there were dudes that were, like, constantly complaining about everything. And then they turn around and drop $200 on models. And I, even as a kid, I was like, huh? Like, what are you doing? Give me that 200. Anyway. I guess some people just really like being smug motherfuckers. I mean, yeah, and you know, that's sort of where I draw a distinction. Like, from having watched some of Mordian stuff, and I said this in a previous stream, I really do think he's like doing a bit for most of it. Like, I don't think that he is genuinely like a fucking hater, because, you know, from one hater to another, and I have been a long time hater of different things, not GW. Like, there is a time where, like, the hater persona really just becomes kind of fucking fun to, like, prod people that take shit way too seriously. So I kind of get it, and it's for content, and it's part of his hustle. Like, you know, that's absolutely fine. But then you've got, like, and I'm sure there are people in his audience that, like, don't realize that it's a bit and really latch on and watch all of his stuff, and, like, they're not watching it as part of the bit. They're like, actually, fucking GW can't do anything. You're fucking shit. Like, oh yeah, this is whatever. And then, like, I looked at some of the fucking comments on his reaction to mine, because I didn't watch I only watched the opener, and I'm like, this would be really good just to watch entirety with my stream and do a reaction to. It's some of the comments, man. You can tell these people, like, they are bought into it hard. They are bought into the hate GW at all costs hard. And I'm like, I just kind of sit here and I'm like, man, you do you. Like, you're an adult. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And if it doesn't really affect anybody else, then who gives a fuck? It's your life. But I cannot invest in that much fucking disappointment and hate. Because, like, okay, perfect example. Oxcad comes out last year as part of Grotmas. I seemingly was the only Tau player, and I kind of know I was the only Tau content creator that was positive on it. I was really celebrating the release of that detachment. And I don't think there is anybody, like, and everybody who has been here for a lot of my content, you know that if something is shit, I will point out and say shit. I will say red is red, brown is brown, blue is blue. If something is good and makes me happy, I will tell people it's good and makes me happy. If something is bad, I will say this fucking sucks, change it. But, like, reading through all of the things that we had and seeing some of the stuff early, I do have a tendency towards positivity and towards not fucking dooming and shit, because I find that attracts a lot of the worst parts of humanity. And quite a few of my regular viewers will know I am not a big fan of humanity. Lukewarm is what I would say about me and my species and the relationships that we share. But I would prefer to be positive on stuff, because otherwise, like, why the fuck am I playing this game? Why am I engaging with it? Why am I doing any of the things that I'm doing? Like, it just, yeah. I think people who complain about the new rules or things that change maybe out of the blue, I don't know if they grasp the full concept of the gameplay loop involved in 40k. I say as being someone who does complain, but I'd also try to test out change to see how much it differs from what I got used to. That is definitely a thing. And, you know, not to get too far down into the weeds, but it's a very common thing with human expectation. And I spoke about this in the first Grotmas stream, that basically what happened is that people saw other people getting detachments. They were like, oh, fuck yeah. They just made the fuck up what the detachment they were going to get for Tau, or even other armies I saw doing this. They just made it up as to like what they were going to get because it's what they wanted. They didn't identify that they were setting expectations that were likely going to get broken, that they weren't promised, and that were biased out the fucking ears. And then they didn't get it, and then they fucking crashed out. And that is a very human thing to do. One of the main things that causes disappointment in our lives is that reality does not line up with our expectations. Expectations that reality didn't give us, it didn't force onto us, it didn't impose. We made those expectations. And then we were disappointed because they weren't met. And that's where you find, like, humble people, for example, seem to be so much happier because they do not expect the same things that, say, like, a very fucking angry, wired person is expecting from the world around them. Very, very short example. Now, going back to it, why did I put the title that Mordian is likely crashing out? Because there is no way to react badly to this. Like, there is no way to fuel the content fires, because this is just fucking good. Hey, Malleus. Chelsea and Mally just got home from a little Christmas celebration thing out with one of our mutual friends, Rachel, and her children. Okay, Mally, you got to stop doing grabby grabbies, little bud. I wish my camera was working, because, oh my God, is he cute. We went out to a little Christmas.
Is your camera not working?
No. I for the first time, I didn't double check my camera before going live on stream.
Oh, so you can't.
To fix it, I have to take the stream down, unplug everything, restart all the software, and then bring it back up. So it's a learning thing for me of, like, even when you think it's going to be okay, double check your fucking cameras, because But yeah, we had a Christmas baby sensory thing today, and it was actually really, really great. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go. Unfortunately, the demons were chasing me last night, so I didn't get to sleep until 10 a.m. Slept for like 4 hours, 5 hours or something, which, you know, not a terrible block of sleep, but at the end of being awake for 28 hours or something is not enough. Randomly woke up, randomly was like, you know what, fuck it, chucked my clothes on, went for it, and it was great. Everybody that's in the Discord, we're going to have some photos going up a little bit later. We've got actually a fair few to catch up with Mally. Oh, and also, Mally's official first word is mum. No, like, it wasn't babble. It was very clear, it was very distinct, and it was because he was a little bit upset and wanted his mummy. But Mally has started saying mum when, not all the time, but just when he's like, yeah. Based in 4 noble truths, Bill. Thank you, Nookie. I appreciate that. And for anybody who hasn't seen, like, for anybody who wasn't here in the opening, let me just give you a little bit of a look of what Mally looks like at the moment with our little family snap. So this, I'll make sure that the music doesn't actually go, but this is, if you're at the start of the stream, this is what everybody gets to look at. That's our little family photo. Took that right before the first stream.
Cuddle because he needs to go to bed.
Oh, okay. I won't be able to cuddle.
Okay, yeah.
But I love you, Mally. Okay. You have a wonderful sleep, little boy. He's got a big drib on the left side of his face. You have a wonderful sleep, little man. I'll see you tomorrow.
So he was pretty much just like this.
Hey, I'll see you tomorrow, cutie.
Yeah.
Look at you and your cute little bum. Look at you and your cute little bum. All right. So, yeah. everybody, that is the Astra Militarum. Obviously, we will probably go live. You know what? I'm just going to keep the stream time the same. I'm going to go on at around about the same time every single night, and we're just going to catch up from the night before. Now, obviously, that means you won't be reacting to it for the first time with me, but you will be able to see my reaction and, you know, have at least a little bit of a Grotmas stream like it was last year. But yeah, I want to say a massive thank you to all of my patrons, all of my YouTube subscribers and members who make all of my videos possible. If you would like to join us in the Discord, Patreon, and YouTube membership at the $5 tier or higher, gets you access for life. And if you're looking for coaching, which has had a big significant uptick recently, I don't know why, but if you would like to get yourself some, there are packs on the website where you can go in the YouTube description, pantheonstudios.com.au. Or if you want regular coaching, my high tier patron members get coaching with me every single month. The Pantheon tier gets like an inordinate amount of my time and expertise in games against me and whatever else. So have a look at all that shit. I want to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody that is in those tiers. They have kept Chelsea and I going through legitimately one of the worst periods of my life. That's all from me. Astra Militarum, you're eating good tonight. And I'm very, very happy for you. Congratulations, everybody who loves the Guard. The Guard deserve it. And I'll see all of you tomorrow night. Be there, you little fuckers. For anybody who knew, that's what I call my audience. That's not an insult. Love you, fuckers.